My brothers and sisters, and my beloved confreres, a very hearty welcome to each one of you to the third Sunday of Lent. A little boy came to the Zen Master. As he came to the Master, he was holding his palms together, and he told the Master, "There is a small bird in my arms. Can you tell whether this bird is dead or alive?" The Master understood. If I tell that the bird is alive, he would squeeze his palms together and kill the bird and show the dead bird. But if I tell that the bird is dead, he would let his palms free and let the bird fly high. The Master looked into the eyes of the boy and told him, "It's your choice and yours alone to leave the bird dead or alive." The choice, my brothers and sisters, today is between life and death. Even when you participate in a buffet dinner, you choose life or death by the choice of the kind of food that you make during that meal. From among many friends of yours, when you choose one particular friend, you are choosing either life or death. When you enter into a library, when you take a particular book to read, you are choosing life or death. The life of the humanity is a choice between death or life. And therefore, the gospel of the day invites us to have a deeper look into the reactive lifestyle of Jesus. Perhaps very rarely have we encountered an angry Jesus, a Jesus who is very demonstrative of his anger. But it's not for the first time that the Gospels mention that Jesus is angry. If you read the Gospel of Mark, chapter 3, verse 5, it's written there, "He looked around at them with anger, and he was grieved at the hardness of their heart." Today, as we encounter Jesus as depicted by John the Evangelist, cleansing the temple, he shows a righteous anger, an anger that's not inimical, an anger that is loving, an anger that is corrective. Expressions of anger is not liked by human beings. We always look at people who are smiling and friendly without seeing the death dimension behind those smiles. Today, when I see Jesus in the temple, cleansing the temple, overturning the tables of the money changers, and those who are making trade there being chased out, Jesus is presenting before us a picture of the conscience of the humanity, wherein we need to address our own individual self, our collective responsibilities, our desire to follow the Master's command literally in the living context of our lives. Every cleansing of the temple demands purity of intention. Jewish traditions were full of liturgical ceremonies. Very often, those ceremonies led them to external practices without inner convictions. And this is where Jesus challenges the conscience of the humanity. When I read the first reading of today from the book of Exodus, wherein we are given that precise picture of the 10 Commandments, I was reflecting and asking myself the question, were not the 10 Commandments necessitated by the human infidelity? Look at paradise, the lifestyle of the first parents. They were in total freedom, no rules and regulations. They were immersed in relationship with each other, with God, and with the nature, and even the animals who were there amidst them. But the human tendency to break and to become barriers for themselves caused the fragile nature of the human beings to be controlled by laws and regulations, 10 commandments. Yes, my brothers and sisters, you all might have heard about that famous psychological concept called Stockholm Syndrome. In the place called Stockholm, a bank was captured by the terrorists. They took all the employees therein as prisoners. But in the course of a long stay together, most of these prisoners became friendly with the terrorists. The women among them fell in love with them, and the men began to drink coffee and tea with them and play cards with them. Finally, when the police came to rescue these prisoners, they all shouted aloud, "Do not interfere in our matters. They are our friends. We do not need your support." By living with that which is contradicting, we become part of the contradictions. That's where St. Paul today in his letter says, "The foolishness of God is wiser than the wisdom of the human beings. The weakness of God is stronger than the strength of human beings." Yes, my brothers and sisters, the cleansing of the temple by Jesus today invites you and me to have an inner purity of my individual conscience. It equally invites me to have a collective responsibility to stand by that which is correct. It tells me of the necessity to change and move away from business matters connected with the temple and God. It gives me the inspiration to understand those who enter the temple, even if they are non-believers, they should feel the presence of God in the temple. Are we choosing life or death? Are we aware that we are called for life? Amen.